Hello everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. I am mixed media textile artist Christy Strickler, if you're not familiar with me. This video is a little bit different. It's intended both for my YouTube viewers and for members of a Surface Design Association meetup. For those of you who are here from the SDA, I appreciate you being here. Thank you. For anyone not familiar with Surface Design Association, or SDA for short, it's an international community of artists, makers, and designers who work with textiles and surfaces in all kinds of exciting ways. And I'll probably have to do a whole other video on what textile art is for those who aren't familiar with it, but textile art involves all kinds of mediums. And I myself, I work with paper, I work with fiber, I work with thread, paint. It's kind of a mix for me of traditional textile supplies with traditional art supplies. But anyway, this video is an introduction for people in that SDA meetup, and it also is going to serve as a vlog as I share my journey on my YouTube channel through my current home artist residency program. So let's get into that. What is this video about? I'm going to walk you through what a home artist residency looks like. I'm going to talk about how I've structured my home artist residency. I'm going to talk about why I'm focusing on the theme of deconstruction and help you get a feel for how you can bring more structure to your studio practice, how you can grow a full residency art plan, and why you would want to do that. And then I'm going to continue doing these vlogs as I work throughout my project. It'll give you a sneak peek behind the scenes, and I'm hoping you'll find it interesting. There was interest in my previous home artist residency. But anyway, let's start diving into that. So there is a particular reason I am not at the first live SDA meetup. I am one of the co-hosts for the Surface Design Association. They do regular meetups for members that are both social in nature, but also help for members to gather resources and interact with peer discussion. So my family is currently in the middle of an international move. I will be vlogging about that more particularly in a separate video. But I could not attend the meetup live tonight because, and I kind of joked about this with several of the other members as I was we've been setting these meetups up for several months now. And I said, no matter what date I pick, it's probably somehow going to be the date that I end up having to fly out. And indeed, as I am recording this video, I'm a day away from hopping into a cab and moving to another country. My family is getting ready to explore Albania. So as I said, I'll talk about that in another video. This one's going to be focused purely on the home artist residency and the theme of deconstruction. So let's just briefly cover what a home artist residency entails and why you would want to do one. So typically when you think about a residency program, or sometimes they're called artist development programs, you think about traveling somewhere, there's a specific studio, there's a planned itinerary or a framework for you. You might set your own goals, or the residency has a set of goals in place for you. Everything is set out for you. You know the time frame it's going to occur. You document your progress, and there is some kind of an end goal, either maybe an exhibition or a class that you're going to give, a body of work that you're going to complete. There's a variety of different goals. There really isn't a lot of difference between that and a home artist residency program. Even the online programs that you can apply for, you're going to set goals, you're going to define your timeline, and you're going to document your progress. The difference between the home version and the ones that you might apply for are the interactions you might have, the time frame. You have a lot more control over your home artist residency than you might in something that is defined for you by an association or a museum. It's a lot more flexible. So the thing that I want you to really remember when you're picking your program is to set goals based on the time that you have. If you have just a weekend, then make some type of project or goal that you can achieve or see results in over the weekend. And like with a typical residency, you might be working for several consecutive weeks or months at a time. With a home artist residency, you know your schedule, so you can say, I'm going to work this weekend, and then I'm not going to have time again until 2 weeks from now. Again, you set your timeline, you set your goals, you set your framework, and you decide how much you want to document, how intensely you want to schedule your time. You have a lot more leeway. Why would you want to do a home artist residency? That is because you want to keep developing as an artist. Maybe you've applied to programs and you haven't gotten into them. There isn't a reason for you not to continue developing. And in my case, I've applied to several programs. I've only gotten into one. There are a limited amount of seats that are often available in these programs that artists can apply for. And there's a lot of reasons you may not get into one. They have to narrow it down. As I mentioned, they only have certain spaces. So they might only have room for one artist or a group of 10 artists, and hundreds of artists have applied. Not getting into a program that you've applied for does not mean that you are not worthy of these programs. It just means that at this time you weren't necessarily selected. What is nice about these residency programs, though, is they create structure and accountability, and they help you to work independently towards a goal. And again, there isn't a reason you can't do that at home just because you don't get into a program. In fact, the program that I am going to work through now is one that I developed as part of an application to the Surface Design Association's AIR program. And at the time of this video, I've applied, but I still don't know if I got into that program or not. So I have based my entire residency plan off of the AIR program. I have a timeline that goes over a year. I have about 6 different projects that I want to work through. I am going to share with you some resources on my website and blog where you can look through these a little bit more in detail. You're welcome to ask questions either to me through email or in the comments for this YouTube video. And for those of you joining us from the Surface Design Association, we'll be discussing this through the meetups that we'll be having. So just briefly to mention Surface Design Association again. One of the reasons that I joined in with the meetups is that it provided me with a way to have peer interaction. You decide in your home artist residency if that's something that you want to have. A lot of residency programs do have interaction. They'll either require you to host or teach a class, for example, or have artist talks at the gallery or the venue where you're conducting your artistic development program. And by volunteering through the Surface Design Association, that met that peer interaction for me. I can share what I'm doing, and I can work with other people who can share what they are doing as well. And so we all grow as artists that way. But by no means is it always necessary for you to have peer interaction. So for those of you who don't have something like Surface Design Association or who prefer to work more independently, maybe you're just better at that. You know, it's better for your focus to work on your own rather than with a large group. You can work through whatever your goals are, whatever your timeline is on your own at home. Now I want to talk more specifically about my project. My residency is called Deconstruction of Self, Rebuilding Through Textile Narratives. So over the next year, I'm going to be exploring deconstruction, both as a physical act, literally taking some materials apart, and also as a metaphor for identity and selfhood. This is, again, I think I mentioned before that I had written this for the SDA AIR program. So my timeline is all based on that, and I will be documenting my project on my YouTube channel as I work through everything. I'm going to, on the textile side, be deconstructing garments or fabrics, pulling them apart, reassembling them into new forms and narratives. And on the sculptural side, I'll be working with spun cotton figures. I have made 2 spun cotton figures at this point. So while I do want finished works from the spun cotton, I want to actually also deconstruct the process itself. So in your own home artist residency, perhaps there's a procedure or a technique that you want to improve. You can deconstruct the process or deconstruct other processes similar to it and see how that would work into your art practice. That's what I'm going to be doing with spun cotton sculpture, breaking it down step by step in a way that I can refine the technique and experiment with new ways and new possibilities in the medium itself. It's not just going to be about the final artwork. It's going to be about, deepening my art practice and discovering what happens with the materials when I deconstruct the methods and break apart what I am doing to form the final sculpture itself. And that residency, I have it planned to run through approximately September 2025, which kind of having to adjust a little bit for the move, through June of 2026. Some of the things I'll also be talking about in the Surface Design Association meetups are the challenges of place. So how your location and the way that you're set up can affect how your residency goes for you. So in my case, I will not have my full studio until probably the end of November, beginning of December. All of my personal items are being shipped to Albania, and I don't yet have a permanent apartment. So one of the challenges that I'll be talking about in my vlogs and also with the SDA meetups will be how you can overcome challenges with your sense of space. If you are planning on traveling somewhere with your residency, I've known that a few artists have taken, little trips to like an Airbnb or something for a weekend and set up a little residency that way. There are a lot of challenges with the amount of materials that you have or what techniques you can do while you are in that situation. So I'll be documenting that in my vlogs. I'll probably also document it on my blog itself, like on my website or through Substack. So if you're interested in following along with that way, be sure to like and subscribe on the YouTube channel and head over to my Substack so that you don't miss any of that. I am hoping at the end of this that I will be able to do some type of online exhibition program. It's a goal that I have for myself. One of the ways that I am using Surface Design Association is to use their meetups to further my own goals and outcomes. So I designed my framework to include the SDA meetups. So let me just switch over to that screen and I can show you a couple of them and talk briefly about how those are going to play into my own personal project. So these are the SDA meetups that I mentioned before, starting off here with curating connections. This one is going to help me further my goals, which have to center around having online exhibitions. So we also have Fiber and Materiality, which is going to explore artist Louise Bergios, and hopefully I didn't butcher that last name, but her particular artwork centered around creative responses in fiber. It was sculptural work, which will inspire my own sculptural work, and she also experimented with ways to express memory, identity, and the body. So again, something that will help me with my particular theme. This next meetup, unfortunately, does not work with my time zone. I had wanted to join it. I think this book discussion about the Empire of Cotton would have been a great resource for me since I will be working with cotton as one of the materials in this artist residency practice. But you can see how these types of meetups can spark resource ideas for you and your own home artist residency. I signed up for a lot of meetups. I think I signed up for this one for creative inspiration with Holly Smith and Elizabeth Okeyele. I think I pronounced the last name properly. And then here, of course, below that, you see the talk that, or the meetups that Anna and I will be hosting together. And then there is also Atypical Textiles, Interdisciplinary and Community-Oriented Approaches to Textiles. All of these are wonderful resources that can be used to further my goals, give me peer interaction. And since my residency takes place over a full year, I'll be watching to see what the spring meetups will be for the Surface Design Association. Again, the wonderful thing about doing a home artist residency or a home artistic development program is that you can add resources and adjust your timeline as you need to or as you want to further your work and complete your goals. It's just there to provide a framework. It's a loose framework, and you're the one who is in control of how you develop that. Thank you all for joining me today. I'm really excited to share this project with you, and I hope you'll follow along on my YouTube channel and through Substack. Again, if you want to follow through that, don't forget to like and subscribe. Otherwise, I really look forward to talking with everyone through the Surface Design Association meetups. I think it's going to be a fantastic fall session. If you are not a member of Surface Design Association, I highly encourage you to join. Thank you all for watching. I will talk to you in the next video.